Hi, good afternoon. So happy St. Patrick's Day. So it's good to have a lesson today. So alright, just quick question. So see the screen. So any ideas like where St. Patrick's come from? You see the photic over here. It's Aaron. So anyway, he's the patron saint of Aaron, just like Saint Joseph is the patron saint for our school. So St. Patrick. So today is the day for Aaron. That's why green. Alright. So let's just take today's topic. So today we are going to learn about using two infinitives and gerund. So just a real quick some idea what are they different. So two infinitive it's you add a two in front of base form of a verb. So such as to visit, to see, to travel. Meanwhile, gerund is an ing form of a verb, like hiking, shopping, and reading. 呢個就係即係 verb 嘅原型版本，即係所有個 verb 唔加 s 唔加 ed 嘅情況之下，前加個 to 嗰個情況就係叫做 to infinitive form。呢個 verb 前面加 ing，但係佢唔係 present continuous tense 之類嘅，佢哋就叫做 gerund。Questions? Alright, so we'll just go on talk a little bit more about these two, and you will know more about the difference of these two. Alright. Okay. So we use okay, here's the fun thing that you need to know. In a sentence a form, it means that a sentence that contains two verbs. So each sentence can only consist, each part of a sentence can only contain one verb, verb. Okay? So, and that means that when we have two verbs and then we have to figure out some ideas. 我重用中文解釋一次，喺呢啲嘅每一個英文句子一部分啦，只可以有一個動詞，一個 verb。而當有兩個 verb 嘅情況之下，我哋就要諗下解決方法啦。第一個方法就係選擇用呢個 to infinitive， 咁我哋去解釋下。Okay, so we use to infinitive after these verbs. Agree 同意 intend 目標指意目標係 ask 問 prepare 選擇啦預備啦choose 選擇 promise decide refuse fail want hope wish. Okay, these are use after these verbs we use two infinitives. That means that okay, an example. Okay, since today is St. Patrick's Day, so all the names in example they will be in Irish theme. So anyway, okay here. Okay, Liam promised to buy his sister a present on her birthday. Now, okay, so you see that there are two verbs in here. Promise and to buy. Okay, this one looks like a tricky one, a present, but no, present here is in noun. 喺度係解禮物。So this is not a verb. So promise and to buy is a verb. So and then if we go back to the previous line, we talk about after the word promise, we'll use to infinitive in here. So that's why to buy is a to infinitive. Alright? So and then because each sentence can only contain one verb, and this one using to infinitive, adding a to in front of a verb, that technically cancel the verb accents in this sentence. So that's why you can use the word promise here, and you will buy here a two verb. Okay， 每一個句子只可以有一個動詞。因為我哋睇翻頭先嗰個例子 ，promise 嘅情況之下，喺佢之後嗰個動詞就可以前面加個 to 變成 to infinitive form， 令到呢個句子可以有兩個動詞。因為如果唔係嘅話，呢個句子如果冇咗個 to， 冇咗呢個 to infinitive form， 咁呢個句子就有兩個動詞 promise 同 by， 所以呢個句子就會變錯啦。所以咧又加咗個 to 喺度啦，就可以變成 infinitive form， 將呢個 by 呢個字個動詞你當佢係取消咗咁樣啦，咁咧就可以變成即係取消咗佢一個句子度主要動詞啦，咁就可以令到 promise to buy 一個成立啦。所以呢個句子 Liam promised to buy his sister a present on her birthday. Alright. Okay. Now I'll show you like a example of a gerund. So when you use like gerund, okay, it's like after like these common verbs: admit, give up, avoid, imagine, consider, keep, dislike, mind, enjoy, practice, finish, suggest. Okay, I think you basically know like every single verb here except this one. Okay. 平時你會睇到係 practice， 嗰個係啱係名詞版 ，practice ise 呢個係動詞版本，都係解做練習。Okay, so after this verb you use a gerund， 同之前嗰個規矩一樣。頭先嗰個當一個句子永遠只可以有一個動詞，咁嘅情況之下，你有兩個動詞嘅情況之下咧，你要有方法去令到其中一個動詞再變成一個動詞，咁個版本咧就係將佢變成 gerund， 而且喺呢啲字眼之後咧，我哋就會用 gerund 啦，就係同頭先 to infinitive 嘅都係一樣，只不過 gerund 嘅版本係將佢變成 ing form， 而頭先 to infinitive 就係前面加個 to。好，呢幾個 OK，so just like the to infinitive form like the verb like this, you have to remember it by like half remembering, but like after you using a few more time, you probably remember it like by heart. Alright, let's look at an example. Okay, let's read like this sentence with a whole class together. Connor keeps looking for his phone in the morning. Okay, another question. So like, can you point out all the verb in this like a sentence? Certainly the word keeps is a verb, and you have this one. This one although like slightly like odd looking one, but like you can't say like Connor keep look for his phone in the morning, because say that like if there's no like ing here, that mean that like this sentence had two verbs, and that doesn't like make sense. 我哋每一個句子如果冇 ing 冇 gerund 版本，咁咧就變咗 Connor keeps look for his phone， 咁就會有兩個動詞嘅情況之下，所以同頭先個法則一樣，就係要將其中一個動詞變形，變咗佢做另一個，你當咗佢兩個講法就話冇咗動詞版本啦。頭先嘅 to infinitive 版本，呢、個就係 gerund 嘅版本，就將佢變成 ing。咁你問點樣去記得邊個 ing 邊個加個 to， 呢個就要記啦，咁多位係啦。好 ，OK， so this one, so like you use the word keep, and then you have the word like looking for, and then like you said like it was contained in one of the example. The word like keep is in like one of the like verb list like for using gerund. So that's why like Connor keeps looking for his phone in the morning. You change the word like look for, change it into looking for. So Connor keeps looking for his phone in the morning. So if you need to like remember like the verb list, and we'll talk more about it like afterwards, and I'll put like this slide like on Google Classroom, and you remember like the list. Okay, sometimes like we can use either like to infinitives or gerund after some verb. Okay, there is no difference in meaning. So that means that like say that if a sentence had like two verbs, and then like you can either choose adding like to in front of a verb, like in front of like a second verb, or like change the second verb into a gerund, like whichever should be the best. So like these are some of the like example: begin, like, continue, love, hate, prefer, intend, stop. Alright, so these 8 verbs like you can basically choose whatever you want. Alright. And then we'll look at the samples, like sample sentence. Okay. Sean loves to buy new gadgets. Sean loves buying new gadgets. They are technically the same. And you have the word loves, oops, same verb, except here you have to solve the problem of a second verb in a sentence. So that's why here, this one is the to infinitive form. Meanwhile, this one is the gerund form. They are identical. They have the same meaning, just the way that it looks slightly different, but the same. They have the very same meaning. Get it? Okay. When is that? Okay. And now I'll show you some other one. If you say that if you choose a to infinitive form and the gerund form, it's very different. All right. Okay, I'll show you after these verbs, these are some of the example verbs. If we use to infinitive form or the gerund, we will have very different meanings. So remember, go on, stop, forget, regret, try. Okay, and then I'll show you the example and then say how different they are. So make sure that when you express your meaning, you have to choose the right one. To infinitive or gerund by the meaning itself, not by which verb that it go after. All right? Okay. So when this remember. Okay. Well, we show you the first one, to infinitive form, and then when we use remember and to infinitive, that means remember something that needs to be done. Okay, here's an example here. Please remember to buy a new bar of soap. That means that okay, that something needs to be done, and then this is the to infinite form, coming after the remember. Now I show you the gerund, say that the gerund how different it is. So okay. When you talk about your memory of something that happened in the past, and then you will choose the word gerund. So here, I remember watching this film before. So you're talking about your memory, your own memory, something in the past, not buy. Ask yourself, oh, don't forget to buy a shampoo, about soap. That's a different story. And then when you remember in a gerund, talk about your memory. 以前發生嘅嘢，呢個係 gerund。To infinitive 版本係提醒你自己去做嗰啲嘢，唔好去忘記一啲嘢。Okay, this is just the first example. Okay, how about regret? And then we talk about let's just first talk about to infinitive form. Forget. Okay. To me, okay, we usually forget and to infinitive, it means that to mean do not remember to do something. So here's an example. Oh no, I forgot to buy a birthday cake for Danny. And then that's I do not remember to do something. I do not remember to buy a birthday cake for Danny. And that makes forget and to infinitive. And then I'll show you the gerund form. And the gerund form means that to say that you cannot remember something that happened in the past. Okay, let's make an example. I'll never forget joining this wonderful party. That that mean that this party is so good, it's so awesome, and then it's something that you remember for the rest of your life, and that's an example of we use forget and gerund. Alright, so and then make sure you remember all of these, not just say that oh forget, and then and the second verb, and you can choose whatever verb you want. Okay, question. So if I ask you, do not forget these meanings. So which one do you think you're supposed to do? which one's supposed to think? Like, is the forget gerund? You cannot remember something in the past, or do not remember to do something. I'll give you 3 seconds. That means that the gerund, because it's like something that like happened in the past. You cannot like remember something that happened in the past. So, alright. Okay, I'll explain like, okay, this one, another one. Go on, like with like an infinitive. And it means that like introduce an action which starts as another one ends. Here's an example. Claire greeted me cheerfully and went on to tell me about her new dress. And then like mean that like introduce like introduce me 引入一個嘅動作啦，咁佢開始嘅時候就啱喺另一樣嘢完嘅。Okay, we'll look at an example. Okay, like an example. What about like go on gerund and then like okay, when you say like go on and when you put the gerund here, it means like you talk about continuing an action. Like you talk about like because I went on talking about her new dress for the whole day. It means like you continue doing it. Instead of like one thing finishing and then second doing another thing. Because like when you say go on and then to infinitive, mean that like 你做完一樣嘢，再做另一樣嘢，咁樣就會係 go on and to infinitive。呢個 to gerund 就係你用講緊你連續咁做個動作啦。Right. Okay. It's like a regret and then like to infinitive. And it means that like to announce bad news in a formal way. The word formal means 官方 and so 宣佈一啲壞消息係一個好官方嘅方法。Okay, this is an example. I regret to tell you that this coupon has already expired. You know the word like coupon here. Coupon mean 因為佢平時你中文都成日聽到呢張 coupon 就係一隻。Okay, expire mean 過期。So this is like 呢句就會比較好官式嘅官方去講一啲嘅壞消息。好難過地話俾你知你嘅代用券你嘅優惠券已經係過期啦。So how about like regret and then like end of a gerund? Okay, that means that like to say that one is sorry about something he or she has done. This one, I regret not using the coupon earlier. Just say it. So that means that like the coupon is already expired and then like you regret that you didn't use it earlier. Just if you put it into the previous line context. So 你係佢有啲嘢好後悔，有一啲嘢覺得難過，有啲嘢佢就做咗，你可以咁所以呢個 regret gerund 同埋 regret to infinitive 都係唔同嘅。好呢個 OK。Okay, this one is like stop and to infinitive, and then like okay, to talk about like stopping activity in order to do something else. So 就係講緊嗰啲停咗去做一件事情、一個動作啦、一個活動啦，去令到自己去做另一樣嘢嘅。Okay, let's look at an example question. They stopped to take some photos before continuing the hike. Hike mean 行山。So that's something that like people often do like last couple of months. So and then like they stop to take photos. 佢哋停咗去做影相呢個動作，然後咧佢哋先至繼續再行山啦。咁呢個就會係 stop to infinitive. Now we just look at like a gerund. So if we do like you stop and gerund, there is like way more difference. Like talk about stopping activity. 即係話而家停止個動作，係啦。頭先嗰個係停咗再做另一樣嘢，呢個係直接停咗。So this is an example. Please stop playing on the computer. I bet like most of you have heard this like from your parents, I guess. Okay. So then it's like you know you have stop and you put gerund here playing. That means that like you talk about stop playing， 唔好再玩啦，係啦，唔係再開始個新動作，淨係叫你停咗呢一個動作。咁嘅情況之下，我哋就會 stop 同埋 gerund 加個。Okay, so explain this one. try and to infinitive to talk about an attempt to do or get something。如果用 try 加埋個 to infinitive 就係解做我哋去嘗試，我哋講緊係一個嘗試啦，或者係去做一啲嘢嘅。咁咧呢個句子 example，Shannon tried to put on some makeup by herself。Shannon 嘗試去整啲化妝品啦，喺佢塊面嗰塊係啦。咁呢個 try and to put on 就係佢嘗試啦，係啦 ，get something。Okay, now we look at like the different one. Try and error. Okay, the word experiment that should like come handy like in your IS class, and that means 實驗。So talk about something as an experiment. That means like 係一啲嘢係嘗試咧係。當係一個嘅實驗去做嘅。Okay, so look at this like example. Shannon tried putting on some makeup to make herself more attractive. 佢嘗試係令一個 attractive 就係一個嘅 experiment 一個實驗。所以呢個情況之下就用 try 同埋 gerund。Shannon tried putting on some makeup to make herself more attractive. Attractive experiment. That's why we use try and then look at gerund. Okay, just like a quick review. We just following like okay. I'll put this like a slide, this like a PowerPoint slide like on my Google Classroom, and you do the review there, right? So and then like this is the same slide that like we have in the previous lesson. Make sure you remember all these words and the gerund one as well. And then like we remember like this one as well, and then okay, and remember like all these verbs that like we're supposed to go with a gerund, and of course the verb that like can go by either one, or the verb that like have very different meaning when like depends on which one we choose. All right. Okay. So and okay, no big difference. This part. Very different, this part, the one that I explained. Okay, alright, this is the end of my part, and then like please continue like today's lesson with this song.
Thank you, Mr. Wong. Good morning, S3 students. Okay, now today we have to use textbook. Okay, if you got textbook in your hands, please turn to page 78. Okay, page 78. Right now, today we are going to learn page 78 about number 1, 4 connectives, although, though, despite, and in spite of. Number 2, today we are going to we will try to understand the meaning of these 1, 2, 3, 4 connectives. And then, okay, during this lesson we try to know more the difference between these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 connectives. So these 4 connectives are although, though, despite, and in spite of. Alright, so although, okay, say after me, although. Number 2, the second connectives, though, though. The third connectives, despite, despite. And the last one of today connectives, is in spite of, in spite of. So these four connectives, what are they? What are they? Now, although, though, despite, in spite of, these four connectives, they all show contrast. So, in terms of the meaning, although, though, despite, in spite, carry the same meaning, contrast. That means but. Alright? So, what does contrast mean? Contrast, opposing ideas. Two ideas, let's say, idea one, idea two, are in contrast. That means not equal. Let's look at some example. Black, white, contrast. Big, small, sorry, big, small, contrast. Happy, sad, contrast. So, but that means contrasts include black, contrast to white, big, contrast to white, happy, contrast to sad. So these are contrast ideas. So why? What are these four connectives? Now these four connectives, again, showing you contrast. So today, firstly, we learn four connectives. Although, though, despite, and in spite of. These four connectives, okay, so they carry the meaning contrast. So what does contrast mean? Let's look at more examples. So, we're using contrast. We're using these four connectives to join contrast idea together by using these four connectives. Right? So, let's go to the example. Look at this picture. She's married. So, these two are her parents. What is their nationality? I think they are Chinese, right? They are Chinese. And Mary, what's so special? Speak English. Speaks English, you know, contrast. It's not equal. So how to say this? How to bring these two things together in contrast way? So we use, although these connectives, although Mary's parents are Chinese, she speaks English. Parents are Chinese, speaks English, not Putonghua, not Cantonese, but English. Second example, Mary, sick, get cold. People normally is not feeling well, get cold, they will have a rest at home or not to go to work. What about Mary? Mary went to work, sick, went to work, contrast. Okay, she doesn't care about her cold, she went to work. So, how to express these two contrast ideas? We can use one of the connectives. Let's look at the example. Mary went to work in spite of her cold. In spite of her cold. So these are the examples by using connectives to show contrast ideas. So I know the meaning. So what are the difference between these four? Basically, all right. Now the meaning of these four connectives, although, though, despite, in spite of, they all show contrast. That means but. However, these two are in one group. Okay. So although and though. What are the difference between although? So what are the difference between this group and that group? Although and though, they got a very special grammatical structure, different from that one. Let's look at this one first. Subject, verb, and then comma plus another clause. Okay, let's look at here. Mary had cold. A very short sentence. So let's look at this one. Mary had cold. So what is the subject? Mary is the subject. What about the verb here? Now pay attention here. This verb telling you the time may not be action. So I know in the past, this is the verb. So when you use although and though, these two connectives, then after these two connectives, they must be followed by subject, verb, and then put a comma and the rest of the clause. For example, you may use although or though, anyone you like, because they carry the same meaning. She had cold. She went to work. So she is the subject, had is the verb, and then comma. So here, dot is the rest of the other main clause. As for despite and in spite of. Despite and in spite of is different from although and though. After despite and in spite of, they must be followed by noun or verb plus ing. So let's look at these examples. If it is the noun, so what will be? I'll show you the example first. Despite or in spite of her cold. Okay? So now, who got cold? Not me. It's Mary. Cold is the noun. Okay? Cold. But I would like to emphasize not Miss Long's cold. Not my cold. It's Mary. Mary is a girl. So become her cold. So this is the noun. Okay? This is the noun. So her cold is a noun. So if you don't want to use after despite or in spite of, you don't want them to be followed by noun, you can change. Not noun, but verb plus ing. So in this case, what can we do? In spite of verb plus ing. So look at the verb here. This is the verb. So we use the present tense first. That is have. So plus ing become, this is the verb, plus ing become having. Right? So that's why if you don't use the noun, you can use verb plus ing. Pick up the noun, the verb, had. And of course, go back to the same verb, the present tense plus ing become having cold. So this is the noun, having cold, the verb. Alright, so having cold. So now pay attention here, it's already shown you on the board. So you have to spot out the verb have and then use the present tense plus ing, having. Now, so the difference between this group, though from this group, despite, in spite of, mainly is grammatical structure. These four have the same meaning, contrast, that means but, okay? These four can be divided into two groups, although though in one group. This is the grammatical structure. And despite and in spite of belongs to another group. And the grammatical structure is a little bit different. They must be followed by either noun or the verb plus ing. All right, now let's look at a case. Last year, Tom and Mary had a holiday. So happy, right? It rained. So sad. It rained, but, okay, they enjoy themselves. Rain, sad things, not happy, unlucky. They enjoy themselves. Happy, it's good things, all right? So, how can we bring these two contrast ideas together? Try to use either one of it. I show you the first one. Here, use although and though first. Although though it rained, they enjoy themselves. Noun, subject, and verb. So now, like the example, although and though here. Although it rained, comma, they enjoy themselves. So, here again, to remind you, after although and though, they must be followed by subject, it, and the verb rained. Now pay attention, you have to remember, put a comma here, okay? That shows this is the subordinate clause. Anyway, one idea, another contrast idea, okay? So, subject and verb. Now, as for the meaning, as we mentioned, you all know the meaning. Means but, contrast. Rain, doesn't matter, they don't care, they still enjoy themselves. Okay, it is contrast. Alright. As for the difference, so what is the difference here? Same meaning, even though, although, and though, these two have to be followed by subject and verb, comma, plus another clause. The meaning but. So these two, any difference? Yes. Now, the verb though is quite commonly used because it is used in informal way, in spoken, all right? But in written way, informal way is although, all right? So bear in mind. As for how to use it, we're going to mention later. Although and though again. Now, let's look at this example again. Where should we put these two connectives? Okay? Now, again remind you, always reminding you, although and though should be followed by subject, verb, comma, and then the rest of the clause. Alright, so this is in the beginning. What about in the middle? No problem, in the middle. Still have two contrast ideas. Enjoy themselves, rain, but we use the connectives, although, to join them together in the middle. So again, they enjoy themselves, although, plus same grammatical structure, subject, verb, and then this time, because that's the end of the sentence, we put full stop. Alright, so meaning's the same. As for though, I did mention now, though is a little bit different. Although though can be put in the beginning, although though can be put in the middle, only though can be put in the end. But bear in mind, okay, look at here. They enjoy themselves. It rained, they, full stop, they enjoy themselves, comma, though. We put though at the end. So bear in mind, so although only in the beginning, middle, though can be beginning, middle, the end. Okay, let's have an exercise, okay? Although, though. Now, sick, I was sick, okay? And the contrast, went to school. I don't care whether I walk slowly or not. Okay, I was sick. I went to school. Now, by using although, this pattern in the beginning. So, although I was sick, subject and verb, I went to school. Bear in mind a comma to separate two ideas. But what about in the middle? So, in the middle, you have to put a short clause here first. Okay? So, same pattern, subject verb. Here, full stop. I went to school, this clause, okay? By using connectives, although and though join the other contrast idea, although, though, I was sick. I was sick, I went to school. So, as for, in the end of the sentence, only though can be put. So, I was sick, full stop, I went to school, comma, though. You can't put although here, it is wrong. So bear in mind, beginning, middle, the end only though can do it. Alright, so we've already gone through, okay, although and though. Now, although and though, there are difference from despite and spite. Firstly, okay, is the grammatical structure. Subject, should be followed by subject, and then verb, if in the beginning, and then plus comma, then do the rest of the sentence. If in the middle, just the same, not for though, just the same, followed by subject plus verb. But this time we end with full stop. So this is the grammatical structure of although and despite. So what about, although and though. So what about despite and in spite? Again, that weather. Okay, they went to the beach or by sea. Now, rain, but they enjoy themselves. So in this case, I use despite and in spite of. Now pay attention. In spite, despite and in spite of here. No more subject and verb, but only the noun or verb plus ing. Okay, now, despite and in spite of. Here, let's look at it more detailed. Despite, in spite of the rain, which is the noun. Despite, in spite of raining. This time, I pick up the word rain as a verb plus ing. Then you can use verb plus ing to connect to contrast idea. Okay, this is, and then despite, in spite of rain, they enjoy themselves. So in this case, we use despite and in spite of, we use this grammatical structure, noun, verb plus ing. Either, do remember, if you pick up noun, like this case, if you pick up verb plus ing, in this case. So, the meaning, just like although and though, but. What about the difference between despite and in spite of? As long as they are the same, carry the same meaning. Okay? A little bit different is despite one word, no of. In spite of, 3 words. Okay? So, now let's look at despite and in spite of again. Despite, how to use it. Despite, in spite of the rain, they enjoy themselves. So the grammatical structure here, despite and in spite of, followed by noun, verb, or ing. So if I pick up noun, the rain, despite the rain, okay, in spite of the rain, comma, they enjoy da da da. So in the middle, just the same, but of course, when you put it in the middle, you have to put another clause here. The opposite idea. They enjoy themselves despite the rain. Okay? So let's have a quick revision. Now, although though here, okay, we put it on the whiteboard. The grammatical structure is subject, verb, and then comma. And the rest, if it is in the beginning, the last part should be another main clause. And then, in spite of, should be followed by either noun or pick up the verb plus ing, verb plus ing. Okay, now let's have a practice. Okay, this 5 sentences first. Okay, now fill in the blank by using although, though, despite, in spite of. Number 1. Okay, which one? She is beautiful. She does not have any friend. All right, of course we have to think of these 4 connectives. Which one is the most suitable? Although, though should be followed by subject and verb. So here, after these, is it we got the subject and verb or noun? So subject, she, and the verb is. So that's one. Either, although. Okay? And then the second one, they went camping. The rain. So find one suitable verb. The rain, it is a noun, right? So a noun which connectives, or which 2 connectives, followed by noun, despite and in spite of. Alright, and then number 3, do the bad traffic. I went to work. The bad traffic. So which connectives should be followed by bad traffic? Is any verb here? No verb. These are the noun. So despite and in spite of. Number 4, I went to sleep. Blah. I had not finished my homework. So these 2 connectives should be followed by I is the subject, had not finished the verb. Which one? Yes. Although and though. And the last one, I went jogging last Sunday. I hurt my leg. I hurt my leg. And then the end, which one? Yes. Do you still remember? Only this word though can be put at the end. Alright, now, so, revision. Today we've learned 4 connectives, these 4 connectives, although, though, despite, in spite of. So, and their meaning, 4 carry the same meaning, refer to contrast idea, connect, contrast idea. And what are the differences? Basically, it's the grammatical structure. Okay, although, though, this group, these 2 connectives followed by subject, verb, comma, or clause if it is in the beginning. And then for despite, in spite of should be followed by either noun or verb plus ing. Okay. As for position, where should we put them? Okay, can be beginning and middle. Only one word, though this word can be put at the end. All right, now. I hope you still remember, okay, what we have learned today, okay? And tonight, do your textbook, page 79. Page 79. Thank you. That's the end of the lesson. Thank you.